What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today, we've got a bunch of secret rares, alternate arts, call them what you will, to have a look at from OP-06, and I'm getting very, very, very excited about this. It's really weird, because at the moment, over in the West, in the UK, etc., we were in the OP-04 meta, and I'm actually preparing for a regional coming up this weekend in the UK, over in Liverpool. If you're there, make sure you come and say hi. But then in Japan, they are in the OP-05 meta, and also we are preparing to go into that over here. You know, we've got the reveals coming in the UK for that as well. But then we're covering reveals in OP-06. We're kind of in three sets all at the same time, and I love it, ladies and gentlemen. I am so into the One Piece TCG, and I am loving it. And yes, I know I occasionally mispronounce some of the characters' names because I've read the manga, not watched the anime. I'm working on it, ladies and gentlemen. I promise you, I do see some of the comments, and I am working on the ones I'm mispronouncing like a silly billy. So, with all of that borne in mind, let's start off with one of the ones I mispronounce the most. It's Vinsmoke Reiju. We've got some of the Germa 66 characters that are going to be getting alternate arts in the set, and I believe Vinsmoke Reiju is going to be one of the most popular cards that we are going to see in this set in terms of the alternate arts. This is going to be one that people are very, very excited about. But honestly, Germa 66 as a whole is looking like it's going to be making a bit of an impact in this set. Obviously, we got the Reiju leader, who is going to be, popular as both a card and as a bit of a leader. And the leader's fine. I think the leader is fine. I don't think she's stunning as a leader in and of herself. What I think is that we're going to see some really good decks because some of the other Germa 66 cards are good, and you kind of need to be playing your Reiju leader if you're playing Germa 66. The leader, for what it's worth, is just when one of your Don cards is returned to your Don deck once per turn, draw a card. It's fine. It's not particularly hugely inspiring. It's fine. The character that we've got coming in here, and of course we did see this one before. All these cards are ones we have seen before, but now we got fancy new artwork. And what we've got is a 4-cost character. On play, if you have fewer Don on the field than your opponent and 5 or less cards in hand, draw 2. And frankly, drawing 2 is very, very good. You're going to be playing purple, so you're probably going to have fewer Don cards on the field than your opponent. This one looks very, very, very good indeed. We've then got Vinsmoke Ichiji, the 7-cost. Now, you notice there are bigger and smaller versions of these characters that we are seeing in the set. It seems to be the bigger ones here that are actually getting the alternate arts coming in. So Ichiji here is a 7-cost, and on play, if you have fewer Don cards on the field than your opponent, give up to one of your opponent's characters -2 for this turn, and then this character gains Rush. Yeah, that's really good. That's really good. So, yeah, this is absolutely one you should be keeping a little bit of an eye on, because this is just a really good card. All of these seem pretty good. Although, to be honest with you, the best among them is probably Vinsmoke Judge, who is clearly a ridiculous card, but very much works off of all of the others. Now, we got the alternate art of this one here as well, obviously, and Vinsmoke Judge is nuts. This is the one whereby, on play, Don -1, trash 2 cards from your hand, and then play 4 Germa 66 type character cards with 4,000 power or less from your trash with different names. And like, I've already shown you, for instance, the 5,000 power Reiju and the 7,000 power Ichiji. But then you've also got, for instance, the 4,000 power Ichiji or the 2,000 power Reiju, and essentially they've got skills that let you trash them to play the bigger one. So you play the little one, use that to get the bigger one out more easily, and then use Vinsmoke Judge to get all the little ones back out again. Ridiculous. It's also got another skill. Activate main once per turn, Don -1 to rest one of your opponent's Don. But again, it will also -1 to your Don, which you might need for some of your skills. These three, as a trio, are awesome, and I like them. For me personally, Thriller Pirates is what I'm getting excited about for OP-06. And I've made absolutely no secret of this the entire time. I told you I wanted a Perona leader. We have got a Perona leader. And we got a Perona super rare. And it turns out that Perona super rare has an alternate art. And firstly, love the alternate art. It's brilliant. Secondly, I think this is a very, very nice card. Now, what the Perona here does is it lets you basically choose one of two things. Either, that is if your opponent has 5 or more cards in hand. If they don't, he actually does nothing, which is annoying. Either your opponent discards a card from their hand, or you reduce the cost of one of your opponent's cards by 3 for the turn. Both of which could be kind of good and kind of impactful, and I like it. Plus, I love the art on this card, especially, look at the bottom right-hand corner of this card, and tell me this card does not stoke pure joy. Or whatever this bunny ghost thing is right next to Perona's face. Everything about this card makes me happy. This is one of my chase cards for the set. Now, Gecko Moria does have both a leader and a super rare character coming in the set as well. And the super rare character is coming in with a rather lovely alternate art. For what it's worth, we haven't seen, as far as I am aware, and correct me in the comment section as always if I'm wrong about this, I don't believe we've seen the alternate art Gecko Moria leader, but that's going to be coming soon. You know, when all this stuff is shown off, I will show you. Also, side note, if you're really familiar with Gecko Moria's abilities in the anime/manga, oh my word, the artist has done a great job capturing that on this card. What the Moria actually does here, it's another fairly ridiculous card. Some of the ones in this set really are. On play, choose up to 1 4-cost or less and 1 2-cost or less character from your trash. Play one of them, and then play the other one rested. I.e., one gets played active, one gets played rested. Love it. Great card. Going to make a bit of a difference. Honestly, this one is going to make a little bit of a difference. And then we've got ourselves an Absalom as well. Another lovely alternate art here. Don't like it as much as I like the other two. Not that it's bad, just that the other two are proper job top tier for me. This is the one whereby on play, you have to return 2 cards from your trash to the bottom of your deck, and then you get to KO a character with a cost of 2 or less. But it's also Thriller Pirate, and it's a 4 cost, so totally works with the Gecko Moria and all of that. So yeah, just generally a very, very good Thriller Pirates. It was one of those runs, one of the arcs that I didn't really like initially, and then the more it went on, the more I liked it. And then I realised Perona was one of the coolest characters in One Piece. And then I realised Gecko Moria is kind of cool. Did not like Moria initially. And then after all of that, these cards are coming out and I'm like, yeah. All I really want to play from OP-06 is Thriller Bark. Just being perfectly honest with you. I'm going to be testing Perona a ridiculous amount and having a lot of fun with it. Now, there's one other lot of alternate arts that have been shown. And we're talking red. And we've got Shanks. It's an Akira Igawa Shanks. And again, I've told you many times at this point that in my eyes, Igawa is doing the best artwork in the One Piece TCG at the moment. And this is just another example of quite how ridiculous that artist is, at least in this game. And to be fair, they're doing wonderful work in Pokemon, but the work they're doing in One Piece is absurd. And the Shanks character is actually kind of cool and kind of straightforward. 10 cost, 12,000 power, and when you play, you KO a 10,000 power or less. This is one of the least subtle cards in the entire game. Giant cost, giant power, gets rid of almost... We went through it the other day when I showed you this card. There's like 5 characters or something that you can't KO when you play this. It's wonderful. Really good, and anytime we get new Akira Igawa artwork, it makes me very happy. Obviously, we've got a Luffy. We had to have a Luffy. How could we not have had a Luffy? And actually, I don't think we got round to talking about this Luffy yet on this channel. This is one of the film ones that has been revealed from OP-06. And I think this is one of those ones that just got released at a super awkward time and we never even talked about. So let me mention it very quickly now. What we've got here is 2 cost 3,000 power, counter plus 1,000. On play, look at 3 cards on the top of your deck, find a film, add it to your hand, put the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. It's a classic searcher, but for red film. It's really good. And yes, Shanks is a film card, and therefore will work very nicely with this as well. And then it's got a trigger. Now, the trigger doesn't actually play the card. Trigger activates the ability. Now, obviously, if Trigger played the card, then you would also get to use the ability when you played the card, but that doesn't happen here. You play the card, use the ability, but you then don't get the card in play. But it's still a really good ability that's going to help you search, and that's rather lovely. And then you got Shariah, the film dude, who I'm not terribly familiar with. Sorry. But what we've got with this one is another decent card. We've got a blocker, which is alright, nice to have an extra blocker. And when attacking or blocking once per turn, this character becomes the same power as your opponent's leader until the start of your next turn. So you can basically just match power with your leader while blocking, and a 3-cost blocker that matches power with the leader, that could actually be a very good blocker. Now, we do then have 3 special rares that have been revealed, although to be fair, one of them we did see the other day. One of them is the buggy. We like the buggy. The buggy is very cool. This is the only red buggy we've had so far. The 1 cost 3,000 power, cannot be KO'd while battling / attribute characters. Pretty obvious reason if you look at the One Piece canon. And on play, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, find a red event, put it in your hand, rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. Basically, it searches out events, and it's actually a very good card that sees a bunch of play in event-heavy red decks for pretty obvious reasons. And now we've got a fancy photograph of it to go along with the kind of scan we saw the other day. It's cool, but we can move on. We also see ourselves a Rebecca here, and what they're doing here, the folks over at the One Piece game, they're doing what they usually do. They're going, which are actually good cards people want to see reprinted? Because this is the Rebecca, 4 cost, 0 power, counter plus 1,000, but blocker, and on play you put a black character card of a cost of between 3 and 7, from your trash to your hand, and then play a black character with a cost of 3 or less rested. It is a good card that sees a bunch of play. It's coming in OP-05 for us. Obviously in Japan they've already got it. And I love this, because what they're doing is they're going, which cards are actually good that people actually want to see reprinted? Why don't we just give them some of them? Why don't we actually go and make an effort to give them cards they actually want and are actually going to see play? And I think this is fantastic. I love that they're doing this. I love the way they're choosing this. They're giving us good cards. And oh yeah, while we're talking about all the good cards they're giving us, Big Mum, Charlotte Lin is getting a special rare here to go with the alternate art it got back in OP-03. And if we're talking about good cards that see a bunch of play, there are very few cards that are as good as this. This is a card that a bunch of people, since the ban list got updated the other day, this is the card that a bunch of people have been getting in touch with me going, Wassy, why aren't they banning this? Why isn't this the one that's getting banned? Surely yellow's going to be too good post-ban list, and this Charlotte Lin is going to end up being too good a card. And the answer is, I don't know, maybe. Let's see how it plays out. 10 cost, 12,000 power, and on play, if your leader has a Big Mum Pirates type, it's a 2-life swing. You gain a life and your opponent loses a life, as well as you then having a 12,000 power character on the board. Ridiculous, ladies and gentlemen. Ridiculous. It is clearly one of the most overtop cards we've seen in the game. Like, it's a 12,000 power character that's a double life swing. You get a card from the top of your deck onto your life and then trash a card from your opponents. It is clearly a ridiculously good card. Time will tell exactly how good and exactly how much of an impact it makes. But right now, it's pretty obvious that this is a ridiculous card, and this is one that people are going to like. And hey, it's a lovely special rare, and I know a lot of people are going to be going after this card. It's really going to depend which of the artworks you like, but for my money, this is the best among them. So there we go. That's what you need to know. 9 new alternate arts and 3 new special rares. And you know the deal at this stage. This is not all of the specials, not all the alternate arts, not all of the alt art leaders, We haven't shown any new ones of those today, I'm afraid. But when more are shown, I will be here. I will let you know, because that's the kind of thing that I do. For now, I want to know what you think about all of this. I want to know which of these cards are your chase like Perona is mine. I want to know anything you want to tell me. So let me know in the comment section, would ya? Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wasi. That's where we talk about One Piece and a bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.